Hi, hello everyone. Don Epting here. Thank you guys so much as always for watching. Today I wanted to talk about let it go or let it fall. Let it go or let it fall. And hopefully at the end of watching this video, we will all be reminded that it's okay to let some things go. It's okay to allow some things to expire, some relationships to expire, and we'll be encouraged that it's just part of the process of growth, and there's nothing wrong with allowing things to fall away from our lives. So, I saw a quote recently, a few weeks ago, and it said, "The trees are about to show us how lovely it is to let things go." The trees are about to show us how lovely it is to let things go. And you guys may see behind me a little bit some foliage. I'm in my car, but you may see that. And the leaves here in the Midwest have began to change, and some of them have fallen. And it's just part of the season. We realize that. And a lot of people actually like this time of year, fall or autumn, because you just feel like there's change in the air. There's an excitement about what's to come with the holiday season, the new year. And let's get right into it. So I will reference the scripture. It's Colossians 2:6-7 in the NIV. And it says, "Continue to live your lives in Him, rooted and built up in Him." So I have some notes here, and I was reading an article, and it was from the National Wildlife Federation, and it says that winter cold dooms the leaves of trees, and trees save energy by getting rid of them. So the winter cold dooms the leaves of trees, so trees save energy by getting rid of them. And they reduce down to their toughest parts, is what I have written here from the article, which is the stems, the trunks, the branches, and the bark. It seems to be a voluntary process, and they realize that it's part of season, it's part of a transitional phase, it's part of growth for the trees. So I want to talk about a few things that in this season you may be letting go of and questioning is, what's happening. So let's touch on a few things in terms of people in our lives. So the first I'll talk about four, but the first, of course, is friendships. Friendships. You may have been friends for a while with someone, and you're noticing that your whole friend group seems to be shifting and changing. Perhaps you've been friends with someone that, I'm going to turn the light on, it's getting a little dark, hopefully that helps, that has been critical of you in the past, maybe competitive friends that you may have, maybe some are draining. But I know for myself, for years, due to my upbringing, when I had these types of friends, I still keep them around because I felt like, well, at least it's someone to, talk to, or, maybe have lunch with or brunch with. But we have to learn that in terms of friendships or relationships in general, sometimes, like with the trees in fall, the cycle is just over. The cycle is over. That same article that I referenced earlier talked about how with leaves, they have to fall. Autumn leaves must fall because by the end of the summer, they may be damaged by insects, disease, or general wear and tear, and they're ready for renewal. And the same is true in our lives. Sometimes, there's been wear and tear. There have been things that we've gone through with friends, things that we've endured. And sometimes the cycle is just over. So we can't hang on to people that may be toxic simply because we are afraid of being alone. we have to learn to enjoy our own company first, and to, not just tolerate, maybe a season of not being around a lot of people, but actually enjoy our own company and be excited about, being with ourselves. We're always with ourselves. So we have to learn how to not just tolerate it, but to actually enjoy it. And we also have to vet people going forward. A lot of times people come into our lives. I know in my case, and I can't speak for you guys, but I had a lot of friends just by virtue of enlisting in the military. So these people we were around each other because of circumstance and proximity. It wasn't necessarily because of destiny. It was just convenient because we were in close proximity. And we have to learn how to vet people. People should vet us as well. It's not, a one-way thing in terms of allowing us access into their lives. But we have to learn to vet people and choose destiny over history or even proximity going forward. So something that may be falling away that you're wondering what is going on. I'm losing a lot of my friends. It may be friendships. Second, and this is not in any particular ranking order, may be relationships. Perhaps you've been in a relationship with someone and you're, as we would like to say, or some people would say, unequally yoked with that person. Maybe you are more of an empath, and that person may be a little bit what we would define as narcissistic, and maybe it's not, again, just like with the friendship thing, it's convenient because this is a cycle that you endured maybe in childhood. Maybe you had a narcissistic parent or sibling, and it's just, familiar. And sometimes we try to hold on to those relationships again because we don't want to be alone, and at least there's someone around. Maybe there has been chaos recently in this relationship and it just is not working, So we have to allow those friendships and toxic relationships to fall away. And then we have partnerships, business partnerships, sometimes we are in partnership with someone because we're so, eager to get our business off the ground or expand our business. And again, this comes back to knowing our value and our worth. Just like in those friendships, we shouldn't tolerate people that are critical, competitive, or draining, or a relationship with a toxic person just because they are there. We don't have to tolerate business partnerships, because we are eager to get our business off the ground or to expand our existing business. So the first three types of relationships that you may be noticing that are falling away in this season may be friendships, romantic relationships, number 2, business partnerships, and finally, family. There may be people that you are not in communication with, or you don't attend their events, or you're not invited to their events, or quite frankly, you may have no interest to attend, and that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes, that's goes back to the friendship thing. Sometimes because of proximity and being, around relatives growing up, we feel like because we have that history that we have to endure those relationships. And just like with friendships, and I know a lot of times people feel it's different with relatives because it's blood. And I always say that relatives and family are two different things. We may be related, but that does not mean, I have had family where there was no blood connection. So just because you have history with relatives does not mean that they are to go into your destiny. That is not to say, of course, like with the friendships and every other relationship that may be falling away, that you can't be cordial, you know, you know, but we have to recognize when the seasons are changing in our lives and we're trying to go higher and God is trying to take us higher, that it is okay to let those relationships fall away. And if you're a person that is very ambitious and is about growth and development, a lot of people are not like that. So a lot of people just quite frankly will not be able to go where you are striving to go or where you are destined to go. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you think you're better than those people. It doesn't mean that you're a mean person. It just means that the seasons are changing in your life. Just like in the fall, the seasons are changing and the cycle is over. Just like that quote I read. By the end of the summer, the leaves on the trees, they may be damaged by insects. Maybe you've endured, you know, rough relationships with these people, general wear and tear, it says, with the leaves, and they're ready for renewal. The trees are ready for renewal, so they have to let those old leaves, just like the relationships in your life, fall away. Even though those leaves are falling away, the trees ultimately, innately know that it's a falling away in order to allow renewal within a few months, which is spring. And I have written here from that article as well, it says that nature seems to abhor waste. Though leaves may fall to earth, they still have not outlasted their ecological role. As they decompose, their nutrients trickle into the soil and feed future generations of plant and animal life. So perhaps you've had some relationships that have began to end, or they've ended abruptly, and you've put a lot of time or a lot of years or a lot of effort into these various relationships, whether it's friendships, romantic, business partnerships, you know, relatives. Nothing goes to waste, even though those things have fallen away. Just like the leaves have a way of providing nutrients to the soil, this has a way of these abrupt endings to relationships, if that's what you experience, have a way of being a stepping stone into your future and your purpose. Nothing in our lives is ever wasted. Nothing in our lives is wasted, and we don't have to look back on anything with regrets or, I should have done this differently. All things are working out for our good. All things are working out for your good, according to Romans 8:28. It doesn't matter what path you have taken and you wish you would not have taken that path. Things can still work out for your good. And look ahead to the spring, like the trees do, to that period of renewal and new growth and new birth. That same article talked about how the leaves provide nutrients, like I said, so nothing is wasted. And they even provide nutrients to whole forests. To whole forests are provided with nutrients to grow and expand because of the leaves falling away. And something massive in your life may be growing and expanding and ready for birth in a few months or in the spring or soon because of what you've gone through. It served a purpose. It was not for without a purpose what you have endured. So feel free to hit the subscribe button under the video if you're watching on YouTube, and the bell to receive notifications for future videos. My book, Never Doubt Your Value, You Are More Than Enough, is now available on Amazon. You can order it by going into your local bookstore. It may be in your local bookstore. And it's really about understanding your value despite past mistakes, but despite rejection, um, and knowing that you're whole and complete where you are right now, and that as you really hang on to that, that the manifestation of your heart's desire will begin to unfold as you know that you are complete and whole right now. It's an awesome book, so feel free to get that. And feel free to look below this video to see how you can get involved with what we're doing. If you share or comment on this video and send an email to contact@dawnepting.com, I may just send you the new book. So thank you guys as always for watching. I love sharing with you guys, and like I said, I appreciate your comments, and people that watch appreciate your comments. So feel free to comment below, and I'll see you next time. Have a great one.